Greetings, peace be with you. It's been another it's been another long day for me over here, as you can clearly tell. And what I want to talk to you about in this video is 3 conspiracies that might be true. Okay. Now, before I dive into it, just keep one thing in mind, and that is not to believe a word that I say in this video, okay? Because I think that one of the biggest problems that we are facing as a society, like slurring on my words over as a society in general, is that of dogma, right? Living as a result of other people's thinking, just seeing something on the news, seeing something on the media, and then just because it's on TV or just because you got it like on the internet, like you end up believing that it's true, right? So nothing that I'm going to share with you is true, okay? At least not for you. So make sure to do your own research. Make sure to dive in for yourself. Don't believe anything that anyone says these days, right? Go inwards, get and ask those questions yourself. Do your own research and find out what is true for you, okay? Now, it's truly unique times that we're living in right now, and everyone's like, yo, it's crazy, what's going on? But the only reason that we would call something random, you call something a black swan. The black swan theory was created by Nassim Taleb. He's like, when there's this event that comes as a huge surprise and no one expects it, right? So that's a black swan event that we are going through right now, right? So we're going through this black swan event, but what we fail to see are the butterfly effects that actually created this black swan, right? The butterfly effect is like, the concept is that a butterfly flaps its wings in China and a hurricane arises in the USA, right? Now that's pretty ironic now that I think about it. But butterfly effects create the black swan, right? So the black swan is what we see, and the butterfly effects are the causes that actually led up to that effect, right? Understand that the world that we live in, the world that we see in this physical world, that is a world of only effects, right? If you can observe it, like the observable world is only a world of effects. Like what actually caused that is when you get to the root of what happens and what is causing what happens, right? What we see is what happens, but what we don't see is what causes what happens, right? So we're seeing this huge crazy situation right now, and we think it's crazy, we think it's out there, we think it's wild because we don't know what caused it. Now, what I want to share with you, the first conspiracy theory is that of the modern education system. Okay, I do not believe that it is random coincidence that the education system has not evolved since it was pretty much founded, right? I heard some people talking on a podcast and they're like, yo, if someone came here from like the 19th century, like 1900s, and they came in this world, they look at the buildings, they look at the technology, they'd be like, yo, that's crazy. I didn't even expect anything to turn out like this. But if they went and sat in a classroom, they'd be like, okay, this is normal. This is something that I expect, right? So the education system, the way that it's set up, now do your own research on this as well. But it was created by the Rockefellers, okay? I think he sponsored like the General Education Board or something like that. And that is what set the foundation for a large part of the education system that we have right now. And understand that it was developed during the Industrial Revolution, right? Industrial Revolution was when the majority of the population was working in factories, right? On the factory line, there were robots that are just doing the same thing again and again and again. And that is what the education system, I look at it as right now as well. It's like creating a bunch of robots. It's like the people that do the best in the education system are the ones that follow the instructions the best, right? Sit in your seat, don't ask too many questions, even though you're a young kid with so much energy inside of you, so much to grow, so much to learn. They make you sit all day long, which is like the worst thing that you can do for your body. And they just tell you to follow instructions and speak when you're spoken to and ask for permission when you want to speak. And if you don't get the right answer, and there's only one right answer, right? And if you don't get that, then you're a failure. And if you're a failure, then you are basically like not fit to function in society right now, right? So that's like the current narrative that I see playing out. And the way that I see it is like the education system makes us go through 12 to 15 years of education, right? And then what do? You're like, you have to get good grades in school so that I can get to college. You get to college, get good grades in college so I can get a job. Why do you want a job? So I can get good money, right? Now, across this whole 15-year time period that you're in school, in education system, personally, I never even had one class which actually taught me about money. What is money? Where does it come from? When was it invented? What's the history of money? How do you create more of it? What does it represent, right? Not a single class on money, even though it seems like the entire system is created towards that end, right? It's just a means towards that end to get a high paying job, to, get that so you can support a family, get a wife, get that white picket fence, dot, 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 right? So the way I see it right now, everyone who has been going through the education system, like personally, I went through that and I actually had a negative association with learning for a long time, right? I hated reading books. I remember reading all of these Spark Notes at one point, and I was just like despised school as well. I had a negative association with learning, and that held me back for a long time because I did not want to learn, right? And the way I look at it right now, it's like a very small segment of the population actually reads books, right? A very small segment of the population actually values education over entertainment, right? Entertainment is what the large portion of the population focuses on. Now, is that random? Is that by chance? Or is that what the system has created and led to, right? I'll let you decide that for yourself, but just something that has come to mind, right? Why is it that they don't teach anything about money in school, or nutrition, or meditation, or health, or practical skills that can be applicable in the way that we live our lives right now, right? Why don't they teach us how to learn, right? They teach us what to learn. Why don't they teach us how to learn, right? Even if they're forcing us to memorize certain facts, why is it that they don't teach us the memory techniques that have been around for thousands of years that the ancient Greeks used to use, right? So the way I look at it right now is just like who's the best at following instructions? He's the one who's going to come out on top in this education system. He's the one that's going to become the doctor, the lawyer, the accountant. He's going to be the one that is successful in the terms of society, right? Now, again, that comes back to trapping people in dogma, whereby they see something, they believe that it's true. They just, whatever's told to them, they do that thing, they follow instructions, they stay in line, they don't ask too many questions, and eventually it gets to the point where it's too much to bear, it's too much to handle, it's too much to suppress, and then eventually they just pop and there's like a midlife crisis going on, right? So the first thing is really the education system, how it's like we're indoctrinated into it since we're kids, and there's so much energy inside of us, and that's just like completely taken out of us, right? Now, the second conspiracy theory is that of the food industry, right? Now, the USDA, they had the guidelines, they had the food pyramid, and it came out saying that, they're demonizing fat, they are glorifying sugar, right? And later it was found out that the sugar industry actually sponsored scientists at Harvard, right? Harvard, the glorious, magnificent, luxurious top of the pinnacle of the education industry, right? They had researchers that were sponsored by the sugar industry. This was leaked, right? So you can do your own research, and they actually came out with research papers demonizing fat, right? And then after that led to the food pyramid, which was recommending the population to eat more grains, more sugar, and demonizing fat altogether. And the side effect of that was that the obesity epidemic came out. More people became overweight and obese than ever before, right? Now, again, was that completely random, or was that a chess move in the direction of what was being created and what was being fulfilled, right? Obesity, overweight, these two things are the biggest risk for infirmity, right? For diabetes. And then what happens when you have diabetes? Oh, you have diabetes, don't address why you're fat, don't address your lifestyle, you don't have to change anything, just take this insulin, right? Take this insulin and you're going to be good. Now, this is the third conspiracy theory, right? And that of the pharmaceutical industry, right? If you have any problem, just take the pill, take the injection, take the supplement. You don't need to fix the root cause, just fix the effect and just take this for life, right? So I've been seeing how these patterns play out, right? Like it's like follow instructions. Okay, I'm going to give you the instructions on what to eat. Okay, eat this. Oh, now you're sick. Don't worry, I'll give you the pill for it as well. And then on it goes. We're living in this situation right now. And like I was talking to someone about this, like, how can you be so light about it? Why can't you just agree with the rest of the world? Like, how can you be the one who knows what's up and everyone else is wrong? I'm like, first of all, it's not everyone. It's just that you think your picture of what everyone's saying, CNN, BBC, Fox News, like all these major publications, they're owned by pretty much the one. I think it's like in the US at least, it's like 6 corporations that own the entire media. So it's no surprise that the message being sent is that of fear mongering. And then, I mean, when did the media do anything other than fear mongering, right? But at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that, that's that, following instructions. Okay, eat this. Okay, eat that. Take the pharmaceutical. So even in the situation that we're living in right now, people are tripping out. I was talking to someone, they're like, yo, people are dying. How can you take this so lightly? I'm like, yo, people are dying anyway, right? That's the fact of life. Death might even be more real than life. Like, we live over here for like whatever 80, 100 years, and we have all of eternity to be dead. So first of all, death is the reality, and for most people it's even more real than life, because they just don't even burst out of their shell and they get trapped in that thinking, right? So now the second thing is really to understand that who is the one that is compromised right now, right? Who are the people that are dying? They are the ones who have the compromised immune systems. They might have already previous conditions. They might already be sick. Now, again, is that a coincidence? Was this whole society just by chance happening to be sick right now? Or was it created as a domino, as a spiral that led up to the situation that we're at right now, right? So at the end of the day, like, the main takeaway from this video is just to think for yourself, go inwards. Don't take anything at face value, because the physical world is a world of observable effects, right? We see the effect, we see what's going on, but what actually caused that effect? We see the black swan, but what was that butterfly effect, that one lead domino that actually created the way that it is right now? Okay, so just some food for thought. Don't believe anything I say. Do your own research. Be a seeker of truth. Be a learner of, diving deeper into what it truly means to be alive. And most importantly, do not live as a result of other people's thinking, okay? Because eventually that catches up with you and you can't fool your conscience at the end of the day, okay? So another quick video. Thought it was quick. It's like 11 minutes. It's been going on and on. But if you've seen it to this point, then I hope that you got value from it. I hope that you continue expanding your awareness and your consciousness. And I will see you in the next video.